clap in 3, 2, 1. Except actually clap.
Again?
Yes.
I thought you were going to count again.
No, clap.
Welcome back, everyone, again to the Cable Guys. This is episode 12, I believe.
That's what it says on your outline.
Oh, it does. Look at that.
Hooray,
no,
notes.
I scrolled past it. But this is Pat again, here with Chris Holland.
As always,
And we are actually on site
we are on location at
everyone's favorite field.
beautiful Seaver Field in Plymouth, Massachusetts. We were just watching the end of a 13-year-old practice because we were practicing here earlier, and then they rudely told us they had the field at 1 o'clock.
They did not. We had the permit.
We did have a permit till 2:30, but I think that Plymouth revoked all of the permits without actually telling me. So
Good.
they probably did have their own permit that was reissued. Anyways,
Whatever.
we didn't introduce Mike on the producer cam. Mike, back with us for the second week.
Hey guys. Good
Which
to
is why-
be back, I guess.
He's still overqualified.
Which is why we still look good and the show's going to suck. But there's a few things we wanted to talk about. I know we had the managers meeting. We have some more updates on the league that Chris is going to release that's actually been official now, and he's not going to get yelled at for.
Yeah, I won't release proprietary information again.
So we have a new league set up. Sir, we're trying to record here.
Very inconsiderate.
Jeez,
Speaking of which,
live
suck.
recordings. Man.
Anyways.
This is brutal.
This is what we get for doing a remote.
Yeah, last
Well-
time we tried to have fun.
Well, we get all this interruptions audio-wise, and then when we were filming the little kids on their practice, they didn't like that either. Like, what can we do?
Maybe you can cut that. Anyways, like Pat was talking about, we actually have information on the league now, which is nice. Start date is scheduled for July 12th. There will, like we mentioned last week, it's now official. There's going to be double headers every single weekend. Everybody's going to play 8 out of the 10 weekends that we have on the schedule with 2 bye weeks per team. There's no divisions this year, so everybody's just one big division, 1 through 15.
Good luck getting down to Plymouth.
Sorry, North teams. We scheduled those games at 11 for you instead of 10. We threw you solid at request of Dave. And the playoff schedule is very funky. So those of you that are familiar with the CABL Classic every year are going to be kind of familiar with the setup. It's a round robin tournament, sort of, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. There's the first weekend of the playoffs. All 15 teams are still going to be alive. It's going to be seeded with 3 teams at 5 different sites. You'll play the other 2 teams at your site, and whoever has the best record coming out of there will advance to a 5-team playoff, with the 2 lowest remaining seeds playing a wild card game. The 1 seed will play the winner of that in a best of 3 semifinal. The 2 and 3 seeds coming out of that will play each other in a semifinal, and then it'll be a best of 3 championship after that. I think that pretty much covers it all.
Yeah, it was a great monologue.
Thanks.
Nice.
I practiced.
I like how you kept looking down at like my outline, and you're like, yeah, it says talk about the league, and then I didn't put any start dates on it because I knew
also
you knew it.
Didn't look at your outline at all.
Yeah, well, it turned off. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting with all the double headers. I think pitching's going to be tough this
Yeah,
year.
pitching's going to be at a premium. You have to have, at least 2 guys to pitch every single weekend, and that's if you're going to have them go complete games. You need
Which
a
the
bullpen
Senators
this year.
usually do.
You need a bullpen this year, which is different from years past, really, because you could roll with 2 pitchers and have one relieve the other one as long as you weren't playing a doubleheader. So it's going to be a lot of depth reliance this year for the better teams, I think.
Yeah, so those teams that have those pitchers, those good guys to come in relief and everything, I think are going to be at a little bit of an advantage. But hey, with a shortened season like this and people
Things are going to get weird.
not supposed to be doing things for like 4 months, it's definitely going to be an interesting start to the season.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm excited.
I am too. This bodes well in our favor. We have a large roster. And
Well, we have a
couple of
large
guys that
roster, too.
We do. We do have a large roster. Oh, yeah. But we got a couple of guys that can pitch, which is good. Hopefully we won't have to ride Jason for a bazillion innings this year.
And Indy baseball was suspended, so maybe we can get another pitcher.
It's a lot of speculation.
I know it is. Whatever. But yeah, so that's basically what's going on with the league. Other than that, we don't have any more team previews we're going to do yet.
Nope.
There were a few things that came out just baseball-wise that I figured we could talk about.
One more thing on the league before we move on to that.
Okay, just
There
cut me
will
off.
likely be some set of guidelines, COVID specific, The board is currently working on those, but at this time, there's no real indication as to what those are actually going to be. Just wanted to put it out there that people can expect something to come down the line.
That's fair. And I mean, we've had a bunch of instances where we talked about some ideas of what
Yeah.
things happen. So we're not going to release anything yet now, right?
There's nothing to release.
So it's definitely going to be, like we've been saying for weeks, interesting moving forward.
And everything's still fluid too. If we don't, if we don't enter phase 3 when we're supposed to, who knows if the season will even get pushed back again. Let's hope not. I think we're all ready to play baseball.
Yes, I'm definitely, well, physically probably not ready, but I need to do something.
Mentally ready.
That's fair. So one of the other things that I know we threw around as an idea to bring up was a few weeks ago during this whole quarantine thing when baseball wasn't happening. Someone released a giant Twitter thread, I think it was actually on Reddit originally,
Probably.
of all these wacky, crazy baseball fields. So we kind of went through that a little bit. We have just weird fields that we've played on, so we wanted to talk about those, and then just the other ones that we saw on this thread, because some of them are crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's one where it's like, it looks like a normal baseball field, but it goes back to back with a football field.
Yeah.
So center field's just cut out, and it's
600
about it's
some
600 feet to center field. It's like 300, and then the next 300 feet for the football field. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it's the craziest one I saw on that thread.
But then there were other ones that one of them was called the hook, where left field was normal, and then the fence like came around and then cut straight across from like left center to right field, and right field was like 200 feet.
That sounds wonderful. Let's play there.
Hey,
I might finally get a dinger.
Well, then one of them that I brought up before was Beechwood in Cohasset.
Yeah. I never actually played there.
I never did either, but
Oh, okay.
because I was on varsity because I'm nasty. Our JV team played there, and they were like routine fly balls to the outfield were home runs because it was
It's 280 all the way around?
it was like a 15-foot, 20-foot fence, but it was like 280
Yeah.
all the way around. So my buddy got up. He's like, "Yeah, I put a ball into like the playground that I feel like I just would have been out on."
Yeah. That's like the field the Braves played on last year with the super short right field. You weren't there. You weren't there either. It was in Hyde Park.
Good story.
It's like a 260-foot fence to right, and then it kind of cuts out, and then it shoots right back in center field because it's like the end of a street and there's a gate there, and then it goes way back out to left. So it's probably the shortest part of the park is dead center field. It's like 250 feet, and then left field probably goes out to like 400 at its deepest part.
And speaking of the shortest part being center field, there was another field that was back to back with a track.
Oh yeah.
And the track, like where the curve of the track came,
Yeah,
was
you
center
looped
field. And so you had like a normal left field and a normal right field, and everyone was like, "So you should not play with a center fielder? Like, where do you put this kid?"
I was when we played the Braves last year, Zach Simpson was playing center, and basically just had to choose a side to stand on. I was like, which side do we think this guy's going to hit the ball on? Because if he hits it on the other side, you have to come in, go around the gate, and try to go get the ball.
So I actually think it would be interesting if anyone of the 12 of you that are listening to this played on a.
Hey, there was
31.
31, possibly 32.
Oh boy.
How do you get a possibly view?
Yeah,
Between the last time we looked and now.
true.
Oh,
Somebody
okay.
probably watched for like 27 seconds. It didn't quite register. They
Let's
stayed for the cold open and then bailed.
let's not say we had 40 people, but I think we may have had
Well,
more than
to
30.
be fair, we can say we had 1 million views because they can't check that. Actually, they
Yes,
can't.
they can.
It's
It
on
shows the
YouTube.
views.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely
they
does.
can check. They can check quite easily, actually.
Yeah.
Number 1 rated men's league baseball YouTube show there is. Because probably the only one.
Haven't found another one.
Just don't do any research into that, please.
It's a completely unsubstantiated claim.
You okay?
I can't talk. That's a hard word.
Unsubstantiated?
Yeah.
Real tough. All right, so what I was saying though is anyone that played any like crazy weird field designs, I would definitely love to hear it because I think it's hilarious to see some of these.
You don't see any other sports that have these weird dimensions for their fields. Everything's so regulated, and baseball's like, fuck it, put things wherever you want. You want a foul pole 200 feet away? Do it. How about 600 feet? Yep, you got it.
Well, I was going back to like I played at Strongsfield when I played EB High, so that was our field. It was
Yeah.
always a nice field, and they're always like, it's the same dimensions as Fenway because there's a big fence in left field. It's not, but when they built the new school, they built a new field.
Yeah.
And the shape of it's not weird, but they have a fence on top of like these concrete. What?
He stared at us as he drove by.
Oh.
We're just so you guys
We're
know,
on the side of the
We're
road.
parked on the side of the street behind left field at Seaver, so every time somebody drives by, they're giving us a weird look. They're like, what are these guys
Howdy.
doing?
So it's actually right next to the town hall. So it's like the fence is on top of like these cement things.
Yeah.
And there's a pad on the cement stuff that the ball can actually go behind and get like it can go behind it and like fall at the bottom, like Plinko. It's really weird. So if you hit it over the fence, it's a home run. But then in center field, it juts out really far, and there's these concrete steps that are in play. So if it hits the face of the step and comes back, you got to play it.
Why would they do this building a brand new field?
I don't
Why not
know.
put that behind a gate or something?
Then in right field, there's a foul pole just in the middle of the. It's not on the fence. It's not like anywhere. It's in the field.
Yeah, it's like Saugus. World Series has that in right field too.
Does it?
Yeah.
I thought it was on the fence though.
No, it's like probably 5 to 10 feet in front
So
of it.
theoretically, you like a lefty could get up, wrap a ball around the pole,
And it's
land,
still in play.
and it's still no, it's foul
Oh yeah.
because it landed on the other side of the pole. It's the weirdest thing. Like
I love
so,
this sport.
so when I coached the freshman team. So when I was coaching there, they're like, "All right, time for ground rules," and I was go, "All right, here we go."
Also, when we play in Saugus, it's always, all right, if it hits, the foul pole has this bar in the middle. If it hits above that bar, it's a home run. If it hits below it, it's in play. That's part of the ground rules every time we play there. Same thing in left field.
I
because
never knew that.
Yeah. In left field there, the foul pole is actually on the fence, but the flag kind of sticks out into the field. And again, if it hits the top half, it would have gone over the fence. It's a home run. If it hits below the bar, it's in play.
Baseball just seems like the most like sport when kids were just like go outside and like make their own rules.
Yeah.
It was like, no, but if it hits this and ricochets this way, and I'm gonna take my blue ball and do this. It's
You
like,
could catch
what?
it off the house.
So yeah, definitely if you played on any weird fields like that, I would love to know.
Do you want to talk about Frothingham?
Oh, I forgot about Frothingham.
Frothingham Park in Easton. It's actually a very nice field, like a really nice infield. Left field is about, I don't know, 450, 500
like that.
feet.
But
center field has a tree about 280 foot
Directly in the
280
middle of the
feet
field.
from the plate. Right field doesn't have a fence. Oh, and there's a track that goes around the field, like a running track meet track, and I think it's gravel, but
No, it's just like a walking path.
yeah, but it's still like it's probably a how long is the track? 400 meters. It's a 400 meter track, and it just like there's one of the straightaways just goes behind second
base.
base.
Does that work out, Mike? Is that right? 400 meters?
Yeah, because
I have
four
no
laps.
idea.
4 laps is a mile.
No idea
1,600
at all.
meters is a mile. Yeah, I'm right. I am the math guy.
That's true.
But it is it's just a track that goes right behind the infield. It's bizarre. It is a bizarre field. It's a really nice infield. It's a fun field to play on, but it is bizarre.
I mean, then
Actually, I
there's
wouldn't know. I didn't play on it. I sat on the bench there.
same. Then there's also like we played a double day when we went to Cooperstown last time, and it's not weird like too bad, but behind the catcher, there's another like patch of grass. You remember that? So between
No.
the home plate and the backstop, there's like another patch of grass that like you had to run through to get to any pass balls.
Isn't there normally grass between the catcher and the fence?
But everything else around it was dirt.
Oh.
So like if you look at this field, like yeah, the home plate is dirt and everything, but
But it went all the way back to the backstop
yeah,
like that,
so,
except for a random
so
patch of grass at
basically,
Cooperstown?
basically from the plate to each dugout was all dirt, and then there was just a circle of grass behind the plate.
Oh, yeah, that's bizarre. It's also really short to left field there, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we still didn't come close to hitting any to the fence.
I'd got
One of the other fields that we played on there, I remember had, like, behind the plate, the backstop, it was pretty normal, and then it funneled into, like, a hitting cage, so you could take BP in there and not be hitting foul
that's-
balls out of there.
when we
But-
played the Dodgers last
Yeah.
year. That's kind of what it was.
Except this one had, like, a normal backstop, and it was set wicked far back before it had that.
That's cool.
And then I remember the fence in the outfield came all the way into the gaps, and then center field, there was just, like, 3 panels of fence missing. So I feel like you could hit a ball, like, 500 feet in the air to center field. It's probably not a home run because there's no fence there. I don't remember what we went over in ground rules. It was 4 years ago. I don't even know if I don't know if that's one of the fields they even still use.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that. Like I said, if you have any weird fields that you played, send them over. What, Mike?
Oh no, I was just gonna
Where's the
say,
talent?
If anyone has any weird fields they have, just leave them in the comments.
Oh, there you go.
'Cause
Utilize those
we're on-
comments.
Pound that like button,
'cause
like
we're
and
on
subscribe,
YouTube.
hit the bell.
What weird fields have you played on, Mike? You already said one.
Pretty much all the same weird fields you have. So I'm really
Because we've been on the same team.
Yeah, no,
True.
it's nothing exciting at all.
All right.
I'm curious to hear like the North Shore guys. That's
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
The coolest field, I think it wasn't really a weird field, but again, neither of you were there for this one. But Nissitissit Middle School in Pepperell
That's a
had
town?
yeah, you weren't allowed to go to the game.
Oh, yeah.
The field it felt like a Field of Dreams type setting because it was all like it was a perfectly shaped outfield where a fence normally would be, but there was no fence. It was just like into the woods. It was cool. It was a really cool setting for a baseball game. It was down behind a middle school, but it was like down a hill, so you couldn't really even see.
So if it entered the woods in the air, was it a home run?
Yeah,
But if it rolled in, it was a double?
yeah,
That's weird.
yeah.
Okay, so moving on though, the other thing I wanted to talk about because I can't stand this guy, Angel Hernandez.
Angel Hernandez.
Angel Hernandez.
Sure.
You saw what came out with him, right?
Yes.
Okay. You explain it because I'm gonna mess
I
this
have
up.
to explain. Okay.
Yeah. You're my summary guy.
I think that part of when's 25 minutes? What are we at?
All right, we'll do it now, I guess.
Yeah. I guess we'll pause now.
We're only at 15.
All right. Well, we don't know that. We're not looking at a timer.
That's why I was.
Well,
That's
that-
why I'm writing you notes.
Well, that's why
All
I
right.
was like, how much time do we have now?
You want me to just keep talking? We'll leave it in.
just keep. I'll cut this.
No, we'll leave it in. Angel Hernandez. I think it started with the Red Sox Yankees.
That's going to be
ALC
the beginning.
Huh?
That's going to be the beginning
I
now.
hope so. The Red Sox Yankees ALCS game or ALDS game 4 in 2018. 2018. He had either
4 calls in the first 3 innings
Yeah.
that they overturned.
Yeah, he was pissed. He was awful. He
'Cause
was
he
having
sucks.
a terrible game. He was terrible. So then last
He
year,
belongs in the cable.
I don't even know if he's that good.
Yeah, that's fair. We always get a lot of people mad about the umpires, and I understand like there are always a few umpires that ruin it for the bunch. But I mean, down south when you travel to Plymouth, this lovely field that we're at right now, I feel like the umpires are generally pretty decent,
Yeah, they're pretty good.
and they're like chill guys.
Yeah, for the most part. There's a couple of assholes in every bunch, but
Yeah. So back to Angel Hernandez.
Angel Hernandez.
He fucking sucks.
Red Sox Rays last year at the Trop. There was the Rays. I mean, the Rays make funky substitutions and stuff all the time because they stink at baseball and they've got to get. Well, they don't stink actually, but they've got to get creative to try and win games. So they pulled the pitcher, but they left him in the field. They moved him to first base, and then they lost the DH, and then they made a substitution elsewhere, and they never specified where each player was going to hit in the lineup, both the pitcher and the other substitute that were coming in. And I think Angel Hernandez, because the Rays didn't make that declaration, it's on the umpires to just assign spots for these guys that are coming in. And Angel Hernandez didn't do that, so Alex Cora argued it, and I think it was like a 20-minute delay in the game because Angel Hernandez couldn't just get his shit together. So after the game, there was a call with Major League Baseball and the Umpires Association and Angel Hernandez, and they talked about the situation.
Well-
They said, thank you very much. It was a conference call. They had him drop off so they could bring in one of the other umpires from the game.
But wasn't it? It wasn't right after the game though. Wasn't it like
I don't know.
pretty recently?
I have no idea when it actually was.
Because
I assume the call was not long. It doesn't matter when it was. And
Yeah.
I assume it was long after that game. Anyways, they asked Angel Hernandez to drop off the call so that the other guy could jump on and talk about it. And Angel Hernandez was like, oh, yep, sure. Basically, just put his phone on mute and listened into the conversation with the other guy, which is a big no-no because they just wanted to get everybody's side of the story. And
Yeah.
they found out later on that Angel Hernandez stayed on the phone, and now he's in some shit. All of this on top of the fact that Angel Hernandez is suing Major League Baseball for discrimination because he thinks that they're not giving him
World
Series games or playoff games or whatever it is because he's Latino or because he's a minority. It's like, nah, dude, you just suck at your
You're
job.
not good.
You're not good.
Well, I mean, there's all these compilations like out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like you can watch like bad umpiring and everything, which I like to watch sometimes because it makes me feel better about myself. Like I'm not bad at my job. And half of it is just him.
Yeah, it's him. It's CB Buckner's pretty terrible. Joe West is awful. He's just fat. Although he's got a pretty bomb country album.
Does he?
Do you not know about
I've-
Joe West country album?
No, I've heard it, but I knew he sang country, but I haven't actually heard it.
Did you ever see the clip where I think it was the Dodgers all went through his album and they all picked a song and they used
they
it
were
as,
walk-up
as,
music,
as
yeah.
their walk-up music for a game that he was behind the plate? It's just very funny. It's a very good troll job. But yeah, Angel Hernandez is just he thinks the world's out to get him, but he really just sucks at his job. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. So I definitely at least wanted to get that aspect of it because I mean, like I said before, we always we always talk about umpires and stuff here and how a lot of people aren't huge fans of them.
Yeah.
and we understand that they're not in the pros, so they're going to make mistakes.
Of course.
And we get that. It sucks when it goes against your team, but
It's gonna happen,
That's
though.
part of men's league baseball.
And nobody ever recognizes an umpire for doing a good job. It's either,
yeah.
it's
You
either
don't see
hey,
them,
that
or
guy
that guy
sucks,
sucks.
or, oh yeah, the guy that we had today was fine.
Yeah.
There's no like, oh yeah, that guy was great. His strike zone was excellent. He made some great out and safe calls. It's a tough job. It's a very thankless job, but they make decent money doing it.
Which is what I thought everyone said about me all the time when I was umping.
What?
That he's great, and he made all the right calls, and he loved it.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
I thought you were a hardo.
Probably, and then I don't know if I ever told you this story, but I was umpiring like minors in East Bridgewater, like my hometown, and I was behind the plate and I went to squat down and my pants ripped from like my belt loop in the back to like right underneath.
Yikes.
And it was the 5th inning or something like that.
That could be worse.
Yeah, so I mean, it was towards the end of the game, but like the rest of the game, I'm now like squatting down behind the plate, like trying to close my legs and like hold it up.
Like the
and I was
parents sitting behind the plate,
yeah,
going to
well,
sue you.
So they have a screen behind
Oh,
the
that's
plate,
nice.
so no one could sit directly behind, but you could absolutely tell that I had just a flap hanging down my leg. I like that look,
I'm
right?
sure you do.
So that was actually interesting, and that's probably one of the last games I've umped.
I didn't do any games last year. I hardly did anything the year before.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
like it. It's a very thankless job, and a lot of coaches that think they know more than they do.
Yes.
You want to tell them about the kid that you call a balk on him because he licked his hand on the mound?
Oh yeah. You weren't doing that game with me though,
I
right?
wasn't, no.
So I was umping in Bridgewater. It was 13, so it was big diamonds, and they always have a rule generally where it's on balks it's like a warning, and then you issue the
Yeah. You actually
Foul.
give the base.
So he was coming down, like it's a warning per pitcher. So all these kids, they've never thrown from the stretch before,
Yeah.
so they don't really get that you have to come down and stop, and then you can go. So a few kids they usually come down and then like throw, or when I'm like, all right, time, like from now on you have to stop if I tell you.
Generally,
again.
I'd let those go unless the other team said something.
Yeah, if it's brutal, like
Yeah.
blatant, I'll let
Right.
it go. But this kid, he's in the windup, no one on base, and he's holding the ball like this, and he just goes, and I'm doing the field, so I'm behind him, and he just goes, and I go, time? Like I haven't seen this before. I go, what's happening? I go, hey man, you can't just shove your fingers down your mouth and then grab the ball.
Just gagging himself before he pitches.
He goes, what? I go, you can't like go to your mouth and then the ball, and you especially can't do it on the rubber.
Right.
It's one thing if like you're going to catch the ball and you're like, all right, and then you wipe it off and then
Right.
go back.
Usually you have to be outside the pitching dirt
But
to do that. So.
he does it, and then I see the catcher's putting down a curveball. I go, no, like stop.
Just trying to get a better grip. There was one, I was umping the plate. It was I was like 10 or 11-year-old AAU, but it was the 70-foot diamond, so they could still lead and pitch from the stretch and everything, which I hate.
Yeah.
I was doing the plate. Chili Davis was umping first, and there's a kid on first base, pitcher on the mound in the stretch. And, like I said, just a guy on first, and he lifts his leg and then does an inside move to second. The kid on first was gonna steal, so he took a hard step, and then he's like, "Oh shit!" Hey, the kid throws to first base, and I'm starting
like he spun around.
He does the inside move, steps towards second, and then throws to first, which you can't do. You can't do an inside move with nobody not on second base.
No, was he a righty or a lefty?
Righty.
Okay, yeah.
It was a
that's what I
righty.
thought.
Pulled an inside move, turned all the way around. Got the pickoff. I'm going to call time so I can call a balk. I look over to first. Chili's winding up and bangs this kid out at first base. And I went, no, time, it's a balk. And Chili's like, oh, what did you do? I'm like, are you not paying attention? You did an inside move with nobody on first base, or nobody on second base. And I think I'd already given the kid a warning. And the coach, like his coach was somebody I actually knew from when I was growing up. It was one of my buddies' like dads from when I was growing up. And I looked over and coach, he goes, oh yeah, give him the base. That was very blatant. He's like, you got to give him the base on that one.
So, just going off of I guess balks and stuff when we're umpires. What year did they change the fact that on first and third you can't step to third and then turn around?
I don't know. It's been 5 or 6 years now, I think.
Yeah. So
I was the king of that move when I was 13 years old because nobody knew it yet.
I was umping the last one of the games, and the kid, it was like 2 years after that rule changed.
Yeah.
And the kid comes up and he steps to third and goes back, and I go, all right, time, you can't do that. And the coach was adamant that
Yeah.
you could. He's like, no, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. I was like, yeah, like 3 years ago.
It used to be. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's basically all I have for that.
I got another good story, but I'll tell it after
But
the break.
we'll pause from words for our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
We don't have sponsors yet.
But let us know if you want to.
I thought you were just gonna throw up
Wait.
like a blank screen.
We just we don't have sponsors, so I don't know who may want to sponsor us.
I thought you were gonna throw up like a blank screen. Just be that. All right, story time.
Does he have to clap again?
No.
Okay. So the other story I was going to tell, I was umping probably like a 10 or 11-year-old AAU game in Mansfield.
Gross.
It was like 10 minutes from my house. It was wonderful.
Oh.
There was a kid on first with, I don't know, less than 2 outs. So fly ball hit to left field. Kid, goes halfway like you're supposed to. Actually, I think he might have been stealing, so he was running on the pitch. Ball goes out to left. Kid makes the catch, throws it into the shortstop. The shortstop turns to throw back to first to double him off, and
Throws it away.
absolutely airmails it out of play. So I, call time.
Give him
Ball's out
third.
of play. The kid came back to first base, and I said, "All right, you get 2 bases. Go to third." And he's like, "Okay." Starts jogging along. The coach comes.
Hold on. Can I guess what happened?
Sure.
The coach comes out, says that you give him 2 bases. It's the base he's going to, which is first base, and then gives him second.
Wrong. He comes out of the dugout, and he goes, "No, he only gets 1 base on an overthrow." I said, "No, coach, he gets 2 bases on an overthrow." He goes, "No, that second throw came from an infielder, so he only gets 1 base." I said, "No. The rule is the first throw from an infielder, like on a ground ball, it's 1 base. Or it's 2 bases, but it's 2 bases from where you
yes.
started, not from where you were when the throw was made."
It's always 2 bases on an overthrow. Depending on who
Unless it
throws
comes from
it,
the
or
rubber.
when it. Yes, it's always 2 bases on an overthrow unless it comes from the rubber.
Yep.
Depending on who throws it, and when they throw it, it either is on the time of the throw or where they were at the point of the pitch.
Correct. The first throw from an infielder is where they were at the time of the pitch.
Which is home.
Everything
generally.
else, right? Everything else is 2 bases automatically. So he's like, "That second throw came from the shortstop. It came from an infielder. So second throw from an infielder is only 1 base." I went, "No, it's not." And he's like, "I will bet you $100 that it is." I said, "Okay, I will take that bet, and we'll go look at the rule book." And then he stopped bitching because I think he realized I was probably right. But it was one of the funniest arguments I've ever had with a coach, and that's what I'm talking about. Why
did you
I
get the
hate
money?
this? No. I barely got what they owed me for the game. This is what I'm talking about with coaches who think they know more than they do. Like,
Yes.
he's trying to quote the rule book with something that's not even close to a rule.
It really just sounds like someone needs to learn baseball.
Learn fucking baseball.
Oh, I'm wearing my shirt underneath. I was going to take it off, and then realized the mic's all intertwined in here
Sure,
and everything.
let's not
so.
do that. We'll make a mess.
And there's probably little kids over there, so when I take my shirt off, it'll probably not be a good idea.
Oh, shit, we all had them. We had
Mine's
the
red.
uniform today. Mine's blue. Well, mine's long sleeve. Mike's a short sleeve.
I can't wait till we get someone from that team on to talk about that story, though.
I don't know if they ever will.
I think
tried.
there was only one person involved, and something tells me he's probably not going to comment on it.
He tells me that he doesn't watch the show.
I mean, I'm not
But
surprised.
then he goes, well, he's like, but they never talk about my team. Like, how do you know that, man?
We want to get them on. But, all right, whatever.
Moving on.
Last thing I at least had on here, I wanted to talk about, other than nothing afterwards. But the Sox drafting Blaze Jordan.
I don't know anything about him other than he's got a cool name and hits bombs. So I'll let you talk about him because apparently you like him.
Yeah, I heard about this kid a few years ago when he was, so he's 17. He was drafted with the 83rd overall pick or something by the Sox.
Yeah.
He,
I don't know.
whatever,
It was
man.
the 3rd round.
It was the 3rd round. He was the youngest player in the draft. They drafted him. They have been like comparing him to Bryce Harper
Okay.
because he's been going like around to major league ballparks in these home run derbies. I mean, yes, he's using a metal bat, but he's hitting 500-foot bombs,
Yeah.
which I just love. I love the fact that they tried to draft him. I always say sign or pick up when none of that's true. When they tried to draft him, I hope he doesn't go to college.
Yeah. He's committed to Arizona State?
Not a good
Arizona
look.
State?
I don't know.
One of those two.
But maybe Mike, if we can throw in a clip of him just hitting absolute piss missiles.
It's possible. We
I
might
think-
be
I
able
think
to.
we,
it might be copywritten, so I'm
Whatever,
not sure.
man.
if
It's
we'll be
already on
able
YouTube.
to.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
It's still copywritten though.
Don't care.
Let him take it down. Did we talk about last week how we got the DMCA notification on our Twitter
No.
account?
So, well,
I'll let you finish talking about Blaze Jordan, then I'll go into that.
I was actually going to mention that. I went on our YouTube page when I was uploading the last video, and I couldn't see one of the videos.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did we get a DMCA on
No,
there
but
too?
it was like still there
Oh.
after I like refreshed it and everything. But I thought it was the same thing. But you can kind of I don't remember what happened.
For those of you who don't know what a DMCA complaint is, it's basically the copyright holder to a video or a song or what have you can file a complaint with Twitter if they don't want somebody using their intellectual property. For last season we made the hype video? I think it was for last season we made a
Oh, it
hype
was for
video.
that?
Yeah. And my brother made the video and put in this song Power by Kanye West.
And Kanye definitely saw it.
Yeah, we go to log onto the Twitter account like 2 weeks ago, and it said the account's been locked for a DMCA notification. I went, what in the world is this? Like, I haven't posted anything to this account in months now. And I went and looked at the emails, and it was like,
That guy definitely
Columbia-
just sped up well. He was like, oh, they got a camera. Anybody? Like, hit
gotta
it.
show off. Columbia Records had filed, I think it's Columbia Records, had filed a DMCA notification against our video on Twitter that was posted in May or March of 2019. But there was a whole list of other ones that they posted them to as well. So they probably had some interns scouring Twitter or doing. Actually, they probably have some kind of algorithm where they can tell what songs are in what videos or something.
I would hope they don't have to check every single video
I
that's
hope,
on
I,
YouTube.
hope, I hope they made an intern go through and just search every video on YouTube, like, oh, yep, this one's got a Kanye song, that one's got a Kanye song, yep, this one's got a Kanye song, oh, that one's got it for less than 30 seconds, so it's okay. But, yeah, just thought we'd throw that out there. We got a DMCA notice on our goddamn Men's League Baseball Twitter account.
Yeah, we're just the bad boys of cable, right?
That's right. We're the bad boys of cable. We're stealing cable. Yeah, cut that one. That was bad.
That's
No,
gonna stay
if
in.
if my terrible jokes stay in, your terrible jokes stay in.
No, that's absolutely staying in. That was atrocious.
Damn it.
But I actually, so when we were setting up here, with the, like, we're in the outfield with the camera and everything, and all the kids that were practicing were like turning around like, what the hell are they doing? I definitely thought they were gonna be like, they're trying to take our signs and they're doing this and that, and it reminded me of the whole, what,
I was gonna say I took like 3 or 4 of their signs
Dope.
Nice.
to be
We
completely
can beat the
honest.
13-year-old tonight.
Yeah, we need something.
It's true.
well, it's like the Red Sox start every year against like BC
True.
to try and get an
We'll play
easy
the
win or
Plymouth Babe
something.
Ruth team so we can just get the arms loose.
But it reminded me of the whole thing that came out Saturday morning at like 1 a.m. with
Yeah.
the Yankees. Talk about a news dump on a Friday.
No kidding. And the Yankees just like, oh yeah, the Yankees stole signs too, by the way.
Yeah, so
And Carlos
I mean,
Correa got real petty about it.
so Correa got real petty about it, and then he was talking about I think his Instagram was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
With like the little thing
Because Judge had posted that when something came out about them.
Judge posted it, Chapman posted the popcorn eating meme, and CC Sabathia posted a
So
meme
fat.
of Altuve walking to the plate through a metal detector. And I was like, okay, but it's like not that funny.
I mean, there's been rumors about the Yankees doing this since the get-go. The article or the whatever it was that got the Sox popped. I think I heard Section 10 say that mentioned the Yankees 71 times.
Something like that.
Like it mentioned the Yankees more than the Red Sox,
And-
but the Red Sox are just in the headline.
And I absolutely believe that because you 100% know Carabas was going through and go, Yankees there, Yankees there,
oh,
Yankees
yeah.
there.
Probably did a control find.
So that happened, and it made me start thinking about just like the whole sign stealing thing again. Like obviously what the Astros did was above and beyond anything. What this
It sounds like that's it's close to what the Yankees were doing too.
I don't think it was as bad. I think it was somewhere between what the Astros were doing and what the Red Sox were doing.
Yeah.
Because the Red Sox, obviously, they had someone who was decoding signs, and they would relay them to the person on second, and then they would relay them to the batter.
I don't even think they were doing that. They weren't like getting a guy on second base, and the guy on second base wasn't looking into the dugout to get the sign.
Well,
and then
but he
relaying
knew
it.
the sign,
But
is what I'm
they
saying.
knew the sequence, and they could relay it from second.
Which is what a lot of teams do. Like
Oh, everybody does it. They just don't use cameras to
Which-
do it all the time.
which is
now
why-
they do. Now they do.
I remember here, was it last year? I think it was.
Oh God, yeah.
We had an issue with someone was stealing our signs at second
He wasn't
base.
even trying to be like
Well-
subtle about it.
But we also weren't changing our signs.
True.
So I was playing short. We were playing against the Black Sox. Someone was on second, and he's taking his lead and going.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I was like, time, Christian, come here for a second. Don't know if you guys care or anything, but he's just like tipping off the batter
Yeah.
what's happening. And so Deegan's coming out, and I go,
He
yeah,
was, he was pretty calm in his way. I was like, yo, what's up, guys?
yeah. So he didn't know what I was talking about, and then so I go, I don't know if you guys want to change signs or anything. And they go, Christian goes, okay. And I start walking away. And then Deegan finally gets there and he goes, what's going on? And Christian's like, oh, he's like tipping our signs. And Deegan goes, are you fucking kidding me?
Flipped his shit.
And I was like, whoa, man.
Yep.
Like, chill.
And then Steve tried to fight you.
Yeah. So he's like, well, I'm just doing this. I was like, I understand that, but like, like it's
Yeah.
like the unwritten rule or whatever. Like if you just relay that, like you're gonna wear one in the thigh or something like that.
Yep.
Which, whatever. I'm not a pitcher. I don't throw hard enough to hurt anyone, so
Nope.
I'm not gonna be the person to do it.
Christian does.
But didn't he try and steal third like the next thing after
Yeah,
that?
I was
and get
thrown out by a mile. And I think Deegan let him hear it too.
Yeah. Deegan lets everyone hear everything.
It's true.
But once going back to the Yankees thing, that whole headline of oh my God, I keep like burping. The headline of the article said Judge says that like the letter needs to be unclassified, and I kept thinking they were talking about
Aaron Judge?
And I was like, what?
So
Why would Judge want that?
If I was
Like,
Judge, I'd be like, no, seal that shit.
So it's supposed to be, they want it sealed because it would cause reprehensible, what were the words they use?
No idea.
It would be bad for their character, basically.
Oh.
And
You're saying like it's a libel claim or something? Or a defamation of character?
yes, something like that. So that's why they're fighting for it to be classified, so it's not released to the public. But the Yankees have until Monday at like 11 to release a redacted, like slightly
Version of
redacted
it?
version of it,
Oh.
and file an emergency appeal. So these coming days, finding out what's going on with the Yankees is going to be kind of interesting.
I quite honestly don't even care about
No.
what's going on with Major League Baseball anymore. Like this team cheated, that team cheated. We're not gonna have a season. We
They
are gonna have a
all
season. We don't want to
cheated.
pay anybody. I'm like, the MLB is losing fans at a rapid pace, I think, and it's
And with
not
everything
good.
happening with the pandemic and maybe not having a baseball season and everything like that,
sucks.
they're definitely going to lose some people.
Especially if the NBA and NHL start back up and they like dominate the sports headlines.
It's going to be crazy too. Like the NHL's like, yeah, we're coming back straight to the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. NBA too, pretty much. It's like, hey, we're gonna play a couple of games to seed people, and then here we go. But now the NBA is probably not going to start until like Christmas, which I think is what they all for the next season. Which it sounds like that's what they've always wanted to do, because Christmas is kind of the day of the NBA, anyways. But that was loud.
Sorry.
It's a dog bolting through the outfield, and it's distracting me really bad because the owner's using the chuck it thing and just make him fly through the outfield.
That's what I want when I play the field. I could just take the ball and throw it in that.
That would be really nice. So your brother's gonna like this episode because he told me today, you guys should just talk about more like just baseball stuff, not just cable stuff. Otherwise it's boring. All right, thanks, program director. But oh boy, this is gonna get loud. Should we take a break for a second?
I think we'll be good.
You do?
It's just a guy with a motorcycle. I was gonna say like stick to sports, guys.
Yeah. I will
Do your
not.
thing, man.
Actually, I will stick to sports because I don't know anything other than sports to talk about.
I don't know anything. Period. But yeah, that was about it.
Yeah, we're gonna start talking in circles, so let's wrap it up.
You got it. So obviously you don't have anything else.
No, I'm good.
Michael.
Nothing else for me. No, I think that's it.
All right.
Was that worth unmuting your mic for?
Definitely not. No,
What about that?
No, absolutely not. But the motorcycle really, really worth it.
Yeah.
There you
Good.
go.
That's gonna be fun to edit later.
He's still going. Anyways, thanks for joining us this week. I'll let Pat wrap it up because he's the host.
I'm the host. I thought it was co-hosts.
No.
But yeah, we will be back again next week. Don't know if we'll be on site or anything. I think next week we're probably going to get some sort of guest on.
Maybe.
And we will continue with our league team overviews and get ready for this season coming up.
Wouldn't want to cuff you.
See you next Tuesday. All right, Steve.